Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Script Note Show podcast. I'm Matt Tillman, your host. For today's episode, just wanted to kind of do a quick way that we can kind of reframe how we think about the financial decisions that we make. Came across a recent article by Tim Herrera of the New York Times who gave some food for thought as to how we should think about our financial decisions. So from his article, he said, "For years I had a 401k from my first job that sat neglected, quietly collecting meager interest as I willfully ignored it. I wasn't necessarily scared or intimidated by deciding what to do with it, roll it over, change the investment allocation, leave it be. I just never wanted to address it, so I didn't." So now years later, Tim's kicking himself thinking about how much money he's left on the table by ignoring it for so long. Does that sound familiar or sound like something you all have experienced out there? According to Anair Sella, an associate professor of marketing at the University of Florida whose work focuses on how people make choices, told Tim, "There's something about financial decisions that goes beyond knowledge. They have a unique flavor, and there's something about that flavor we don't like. They feel very cold, very abstract and analytical, and it's something that you just don't want to do." So kind of going further along, Tim brings back, let's say you're like me and struggling to decide what to do with an old 401k. Rather than look at that decision as one involving stock and bond allocation and portfolio diversity, think of it in terms of the lifestyle you want for your future. Do you want to have a future in which you can eventually retire, maybe travel, and have the ability to eat out a few times a week? The decision that will get you there is figuring out what to do with that 401k. So that kind of hit me a little bit, that when we go about our daily lives with budgeting and making financial decisions, think of like when we're going through the checkout lines at the grocery store and we see all those impulse buys. Rather than think about, man, that Reese's peanut butter cup sounds really good right now, think about, instead of spending that $1 or $2 on that, how that could potentially affect your financial future down the road. Could you instead use that money to reinvest in your Acorns investment plan or help pay down some debt? So try to think about, when we have those financial decisions that we're facing, reshape the here and now and perhaps think about your future. So I'll be sure to put a link to that article in the show notes. There's a lot more to it, but it was just something I wanted to share out there with all of you today, and hope everyone has a great Tuesday, and we'll see you again next time for another episode of the Script Note Show. See ya!